Yes, welcome to the African Liberation Station. The place where we always seek to liberate your mind. You see, it's always good to be here. Great uprising to each and every one, wherever you are at this particular point in time. We give thanks for life. We give thanks for liberty. We give thanks for power and we give thanks for strength. We give thanks for guidance and we give thanks for protection. You know what I'm saying is, yeah, man, Melissa, welcome to the live, my sister, as always. Good to see you on board. Yeah, man. Inner standing, overstanding. Yeah, man. Chuck Rose, yeah, man, give thanks. Great. Good to have the item in the house. Yeah, man, see the item coming in a row. Give thanks. Yeah, man, greetings to the item. Greetings, man. Great to see the item. See it. We're going on a subject right now, By whose standard do you define yourself? Very interesting. You see, because the thing is, we have to talk about these things. Seeing? And this is important. Very, very important. Yes, Myrtle, big up yourself, my sister. Greetings, see it. Yeah, man. More power, more strength to the item all the time, every time. Seeing, I just want to say, a great legend has passed on into the ancestral realm, the great Jimmy Cliff. Seeing, want to big up that man because guess what? Jimmy Cliff is a true legend. We don't talk about him often enough. But he is one of the backbone of reggae music, seeing the true backbone of reggae music. He's the one that has been in the forefront for a very, very long time. You don't get the amount of credit that is due to him, but he's a brethren I always hold in high esteem. So I said, Jimmy Cliff, rising power. We don't say no rest in peace. We say rising power because that's what we have to do. We have to stop following their narrative. By whose standard is what I said, do you define yourself? It is a different standard that we have to come into, and I'm going to show you guys the reason why. You see, I don't just come here on the African Liberation Station to just talk. I come here to bring forth something. You see what I'm saying is that one is not thinking of. You see what I say? Yeah, man. Give thanks, sire, for no. You see what I say? As Jimmy Cliff, if you listen to the song, The Harder They Come, as him said, I'm going to get theme share of what I, don't want to hear about no pie in the sky and all of these different things what the preacher and the church tell you. There's some man who really know the truth as when it comes to certain things. But you see, again, it's because we now listen to these songs, the words them that these man has been putting forth for a very long time to help us understand and overstand ourselves. Seeing? So what I want to show the item tonight, you see, when I talk about these things, I like in-depth people. I don't like surface people because you see people that stay on the surface, they don't like when you go in-depth because it, most time when you start to hold certain reasoning, certain people start to say, oh, you're too deep. You can never be too deep. You can never be too deep. Why would you want to be a shallow person? How does that make sense? Even when you hear some people say these things, you wonder, what are they talking about? Huh? So, by you and me, as I say, you can say something different. But as I said, I am an African. I'm an African that was born in Jamaica. That can never be denied. You see what I'm saying? Is people might have different things to say as regards that is their thing. See, but I know who I am. So you can't define me. I have to define myself. You see, because I know myself. I know my roots. I know where I come from. See? And so therefore, if I know I'm come from, I must know where I'm going. I'm not a lost sheep in the woods because I'm not a sheep either. You see, it is a beautiful thing when you know these things because it is very, very important. Do you know that no African country in the world have a dictionary? Do you know that? Do you know that in all the languages that are in Africa, the ancient languages, there is no dictionary? Have you ever thought about that? No dictionary in Africa. But if you go to China, they have their dictionary. If you go to Japan, they have their dictionary. If you go to England, they have their dictionary. You go to America, they have their dictionary. You go to Russia, they have their dictionary. You go to Switzerland, they have their dictionary. You go to Spain, they have their dictionary. You go to every country, they have dictionary in their languages. But no African country have none of those things. And no Africans go to school to learn in their own language. Even those of us that was kidnapped out of Africa, right? We, who standard are we define ourselves by? And the thing is what I want to show all of us on here tonight, that you are not defining yourself by your standard. Think what I'm saying. This is not a surface reasoning. This is for you to go into yourself, because you see, I'm telling you, this time, it's time to go within. It is not time to waste. It's not time to joke. It's not time to hide. It is time to know who you are. And so when I bring forth these things, it's for making you think. It's to make you check yourself. It is for make you come out of a belief system that they have you in for so long, and they are the one that define everything about you, even the things that you are thinking that you are not. You hear what I'm saying? Most of what you think you are not. Because you are not being defined by your own standard. And that's the reason why no country in Africa have any dictionary to define them. So when you define yourself in the West, you are defining a European man or woman. You're not defining a melanated being. You are not defining a melanated being, you are defining a European. Because you don't know who you are, so how can you define yourself? What is your standard? What is your definition of self? You see why I said, in order for you to really truly know yourself, you have to stop. You have to let go everything that you think you know. You have to dismiss it in order to come into your greater self, in order to realize that none of their standard can ever define you. That is how powerful you are. That is why they hide you from your very self. That is, you see, we as a melanated being, we don't know how powerful and how important that we are to this planet, to this everything that is going on. None of it can go on without you. So if you have a dictionary to really truly define who you are, then you will know, and they can never deceive you. But in order for them to deceive you, they give you nothing to define yourself. You are defined by the standard they set for you and not the one you set for yourself. So when our sisters running around and saying, oh, you know, I'm this, I'm that. No, you're not. Because you don't know yourself. You never stop to define yourself. You never ask these questions because they don't teach you who you are in school. Show me a school in anywhere in America, in the Caribbean, in Africa, any place. Show me any school that teach you about yourself. Show me. Tell me about one. Come on here and explain to me a school in any one of these places that teach you who you are. Show me a school that define you, not in their languages, but in yours. Because don't come on here and tell me that English is your language. It is not yours, it is not mine. And even the African on the continent, the language that he speaks, his original tongue, they don't teach it in school. No school on this continent, maybe now. But before, no school on the continent teaches you in your own language that you can define yourself. They don't have the material. Because that was taken away from you. They have to do these things because they know without it they could not survive this long. I'm going to keep repeating that phrase. Without that, they could not survive this long. And still today, many of us is still defining ourselves by a European standard because we don't want to go in depth to know ourselves, because they put everything in place to make sure you don't come to that place. You don't come to the wonderful place of knowing who you truly are. Because the moment you know who you are, you will stop participating in the system that is nothing but lies and deception, that is bent on keeping you in the place where you find yourself. And you won't step out of that. You won't step out of that place because you like to be defined by your own standard. You won't stand for any particular thing, so you fall for everything that they give to you, they sell to you, whatever way they make it up and put it in front of you, that is what you go for. Because within yourself, you are not stepping into the place that you need to be to become the powerful being that you truly are. But whenever you come to that place where you let all of that go and you start to gain yourself, you find everything about you start to change. Your thinking, your reasoning, because now you don't reason from the outer verse, you reason from the inner verse, from within yourself. When you come to the legendary self that you are, then you come to the place that you can truly sit down and you can say, yes, this is who I am, because I am the I am. I am the blueprint for life. And there is no other. You see, we define ourselves by everyone else's standard. We say we are the same when we are not. And we are afraid to say we are different. We say, oh, we are all humans. No, we are not. We are not that. But because you don't define, you never define yourself, you are being defined by their standard. This is what I'm saying. That is the problem. So you think that you are them. And so even if you look at our people, they go on YouTube, they go on Insta, they're always, oh, we are the same. We are all humans. We are all, no, we are not. We are not. These are the things that we must truly understand. You see what I'm saying? Yes, greetings to the island for coming in. You know, see it. Yes, we're Virgin Jaren, great to see the island of the house. You know, see it. Yeah, man, each and every one, man, we truly appreciate love you coming inside of the room, you know, that we can reason together. You see what I'm saying? This is the reality. When you come into the place where you start to define who you are, you will laugh at the foolishness. You will laugh at the jokes. You will laugh at the things that they used to define you and used to control you and used to hold you into the narrative that they create for you. You see, all the things that we've been talking about, reasoning about, showing you that something is wrong. But it's only you can determine, because you have to start thinking for you. You have to start reasoning for you. I can't think for you. I can show you. I can put the reasoning out there and you can listen to the reasoning, and then you can start to look into it and say, look here, I have to start thinking because this brother says some things and I need to think about it, instead of getting upset and saying, oh yeah, this brother is telling a story. No, I'm not telling a story. I'm telling you the truth. But you see, because you following what you think is the truth, because a belief system were created to keep you out of yourself. That is the key. There's a belief system that teaches you to keep you out of yourself. But if you know who you are, you don't need to believe anything. If you know who you are, you don't have to believe anything. You see what I'm saying? I am here to let you know, to give it to you raw, uncut. Because you see, the problem with a lot of our people, they are in fear to come on here and say what need to be said. When they come on here, no, I don't want YouTube to take down my contents. I don't want TikTok to take down my contents. I don't want this to take down my content. So who gives a damn? You see, you're worrying about things that you need not to worry about. You are in fear of what they are going to do to your contents. If you were true to yourself, you wouldn't give a fuck. You really wouldn't. Because they're defining you. You see, the moment they know that they control how you say what you say, you're in trouble. Because they're going to keep coming at you. And then you have those who look like me and you, they will go and report you to, they will keep reporting you, because it actually is, the problem becomes those who look like you are fighting, you're fighting against each other, fighting against yourself. Yeah, that's it, my brother. You see, they send you to school for you to learn their way. Because you see, when you were born, nothing was wrong with you. But now they send you to school to program you that they can define you, that you will live by their standard. You are going to do what they want you to do because they set the standard, they define you. So you are a melanated man, an African man, and defining yourself as a European. None of them is as brilliant as you. I don't care who they say they are. None of them is as brilliant as you. I don't care what they say they are or who they say they are. They depend on you for everything. You want to talk about entertainment? Who they depend on for entertainment? Are you entertained by Chinese? Are you entertained by Europeans? No, you're not. Because everything that they do, and they come on these hubs or these television programs or wherever movies they come on, they create it from an African point of view. They create everything from you, because they have nothing for themselves. Everything that they have is stolen. It's the truth. People don't want to hear these things, but it's the reality. Everything European have, they stolen. You go to the museum, everything in there is stolen. Their whole history is a stolen lie because they have none. They don't have an history. They don't have an history to define what really is they themselves are about. They can't. Show me their history. Show me. What is European history? Go look it up and tell me, what is European history? What is Chinese history? What is none of these history? Go look up these people and tell me what their history is. And you will see what I'm talking about. When I tell my people, even in India, where these Indians, they didn't know that their place, their river that is called the River Ganges, was an Ethiopian emperor that named it the River Ganges. It is not an Indian that named it that. You didn't know that. Go look it up and see if I'm telling you a story. You see, the thing is, Africa has set the standard for the entire planet that you live on. You see what I'm saying? We can call ourselves Africans or Nubians or whatever we want to call ourselves in that regard, but we don't want to define ourselves any longer by their standard. Exactly, their history is copying. That's what they're doing. They copy paste. You see, the funny thing is it that we don't check and see that we are the blueprint? They are the copy for the blueprint. Now you are being the copy, because most of us now, we are doing the copy and paste. Because even when you go to school, listen what I'm saying. When you go to school, in their school, You realize a lot of their things doesn't make any sense. But you have to bend yourself so low in order to learn their ways that you become better than them. Do you realize that? You must realize that even under these circumstances that they put you, most African children, their schools doesn't make sense to them. Melanated people, the system, you have to come low to in order to learn, in order to take in what they are telling you. You see, because they remove you from your true place and bring you so low that you now thinking that you are less than them. When you hear most of our people talk, you listen to them, they lower themselves and they feel like they can't do anything without these people, when it is the other way around. They can't do anything without you. That is how powerful a being you are, and you don't know. That, you see, it's a sad situation. It's really, really a sad situation that even our children, some of our children are most of our children are brilliant children, but we help to dumb them down for the system. When you have a brilliant idea, your own father, your own mother will beat that out of you, will talk it out of you, will tell you to put that foolishness aside. And you could be an instant millionaire or billionaire with the ideas that you have, but your own parents will make sure that you don't develop. Because the standard that is set for you is, oh, you have to be a doctor, or you have to be a lawyer, or you have to be a this. Because who set in the standard? They set in the standard. So you are not being defined in the true sense of the word. When you look at things, you can look at something and what you see, no one else around you see it. And so you even will go and give them your ideas and they develop your ideas. And your ideas become the next powerful thing in society. That is what happened most of the time. You will go where they have a meeting and you start to speak, and then they'll take your idea. They will say, oh, that is not important. But they are recording every word that you are saying. You see what I'm saying? They are recording every word that you're saying, and they go, and when they sit, they wait for a few months. They talk it, they discuss it in their boardroom, and they wait for a few months. And then all of a sudden, you see your idea being implemented in that workplace. Or you see your idea on a television program. This is what they do to you, because you are the one that is keeping the system running. So when I tell my people, you need to stop, participate, and see what happens. But because you live in fear, you don't know who you are. You see what I'm saying? You don't know who you are. That is why they can do what they do to you. But the moment you come out of that place and start to define in yourself by your own standard, not by theirs. That's why I said you must dismiss their standard of defining who you are, because none of them can define you. And they know that. You see what I'm saying? So stop being afraid to come and speak, because when you speak, don't worry about who is going to take your contents, who is not going to apply whatever. It doesn't matter. When you live within yourself, nothing outside you matters, because you're not living for ego. You're not living for pride. You're not living for none of these things that these people are teaching you. When you stop living in that space, you become so great that you won't imagine. You see what I'm saying? Start to teach your children. Stop allowing the system to define them. Stop allowing the system to define your offspring, because you are the ones keeping them down. Unless you participate, if you don't participate, the game cannot be played. You must remember You must remember the importance that in order for you to know the game, you must step outside of it in order for you to see in it. You see what I'm saying? So you are the one who is causing the problem in your own life and don't know. Because you don't come to connect with yourself. You're not thinking because of you. You're not using your senses. You're not using anything for you. Everything that you are doing is a copy and paste. But once you come out of that place where you copy, paste, they're giving you these tests. And so they give you all of these things that they want you to believe. So now when you start to go and do the exam, all you're doing is remembering what they want you to remember. Even if it doesn't make any sense to you, you still want to apply it. Because a lot of the things, even sometimes when you go to do these tests, it doesn't make any sense. But the answers that you give to them, it doesn't make any sense, but that's what they want. And if you give them the true answer, they will tell you, no, it's wrong. You see what I'm saying? It's true. That's what I'm saying, Melissa, is they are so easy to brainwash because of that reason right there. The brainwashing is where they control you. The church, the school, is a brainwash system to keep you in your lower self, not for you to rise to your higher self. They don't want you to do that, because when you connect higher self with lower self, it's over. You see what I'm saying is that's what they have been running for the longest time. They don't want people who think for themselves. Of course, we get caught in their education journey. We get caught in their education system, and that is the problem. And you keep repeating it by keep sending your children to the school, and you say, "Oh, I have to send." No, you don't have to send your children to school. The more of us check out of the system, the more the system will collapse. You see, the difference is, like I tell you guys this, and you hear I say this all the time. I'm not blaming my parents for the things that I've gone through. No, because they was in the ignorance of themselves. They were afraid to step out into the system, even if they know some things, even if their inner self was saying to them, no, this doesn't make any sense. No, they're not gonna defy the system. But the difference between I and them, I am going to defy the system. You know why? Because I am who I am, and I am the I am, and I know that. And so you can't fool me. You can't make me do anything that I don't want to do. It's that simple. That's when you know yourself. That's the difference. That is when you make people stop defining you. That is when you can go on their job and they can't push you around. They can't make you bend to their will anymore, because you're going to tell them how you feel, and you're going to put it out there in such a way that they have to look at you in a whole different light. You see what I'm saying? But the moment that you are allowing them to do this, then it's over. When you make them think that they're under your feet, then that's when they're in the control. That's why they don't, anytime one of us who are moving the way that I move, and others that I know, you know what they do? In that case, what they are doing, they don't like you on the job, because you are labeled as the troublemaker. You ever notice that? Anytime you speak up for justice, anytime you speak up for truth and uprightness, they are going to label you, they are going to define you as a troublemaker. Because they know that if everyone in their so-called workplace start to think as you, then it's over. Then you will not accept these low wages that they give you for your energy anymore. But as long as you allow their standard to define you, to define who you are, guess what? They're going to keep you in that low place, because that's how they benefit. That's how they profit. You see? It's a fact. That's what I'm telling you. They don't worry about the Chinese man. They don't worry about the Indian because you see, they know that they are all the same. They know. That's what I'm telling you. The only person they worry about is you, melanated being. And until you see that, then nothing will change. The more of us come into the light of that, I don't need them to come on YouTube and tell me, oh, yes, we know that you African, you are the melanated beings, you are the. I don't need you to tell me that. When I needed to hear that, you didn't put it in your history books, you didn't put it in your schools, you didn't put it into anything that you didn't put it in your religion. You made sure that I was always at the bottom and feel like I am nothing. So why now, when I come to define myself, when I come to set the standard for myself, all of a sudden now you're agreeing with me? I don't need you to agree with me. What I need you to agree with me for? Who are you? Because you know now that I know the truth. You know now that I have been set free from your lies, your corruption, your distortion, and so now you come in to agree with me. You come in to agree with me to save yourself. You're not coming to me to agree with me because, oh yeah, I know it's the truth and my ancestors hide the truth from. No, it's none of those reasons. You come for a selfish reason. You come because you're trying your best to save yourself from your ultimate destruction. And that's the only reason why you want to be my friend now. There's no other reason why. So don't come. Don't come and come with all that garbage because I know you and I know you very well. Don't think I haven't been studying you. I have been studying you because you are the root of the issues and the problems. You see what I'm saying is, whoever wants to be your friend, they can be your friend. I'm not your friend. I don't take friend lightly. I can count my true friends on one hand and still have fingers left over. Facts. Because I know even a lot of the people who look like me is on your side. Because you have them controlled. You have them in your corner. You have them because they allow you to define them. They allow you to set the standard for them. Not for me. You can't. I will never allow you to set the standard for me. Know that. I don't want you to believe. I want you to know. Yes. It's just that simple. You must know yourself. And as I keep saying, and I will ever emphasize this important point, our ancestors always say, know thyself. And if we follow that key, and if we use that key, you will see how much your life will change. But because so much of us put our ancestors aside for this so-called blood of Jesus, this cannibalism that they teach you in their Bible, that is why. You see, your ancestors won't rise up to help you. That is the issue. So you will put down your ancestors for these people, but they will not put down their murderous, genocidal ancestors for you. You see what I'm saying? You will always have praises for these people who never have any praise for you. The only time they will have praise for you is when you sing and dance and clap and jump on stage for them. Do you ever realize that? Oh yeah, he's a great basketball player. Oh, this guy is a great comedian. Because they're making money off you. And because you buck dancing to them. Anytime you go there and they're even talking bad about your people and you never stand up, they will smile. Oh yes, he's a good nigger. They might not call you a nigger in front of your face, but that's what they're going to say. This one is a good nigger. We don't have to worry about it. And you're well shaved, you're well clean. You see what I'm saying is, I'm not one of them. You see what I'm saying? That is the reality. And that is where you have to be. In order for you to know yourself, you have to love yourself. And you have to become a rebellious one. That is the reality. Self-love is rebellion. Facts. You can't rebel when you don't love yourself because you love those who don't look like you. How does that make any sense? You will do anything to appease them and make them feel good. That is the problem. But no matter how how great those who look like you become, you will always try to keep them lower than yourself. And even those who become great in the system, they will not raise you up to become who they become. Because if I have a lot of money, I'm going to make you feel like you're less than me. Why? You're not less than me. No, I should be the one to raise you up, for you to be in the place and the space where you can feel that we are one. But the moment you use a piece of worthless paper to define yourself, then that's when you are in trouble. Because that worthless piece of paper, when you're sick, when something is wrong with you, that piece of paper cannot come to your aid to do anything for you. The people around you who you think love you, they are there to what they can get out of you. And they are praying for you to die, that they can collect and they can go waste it on themselves. You see, but if I see myself in the true sense and see you in the true sense, I'm going to see your worth as you're going to see my worth, because I'm not going to value myself over you. I'm not going to put myself on a pedestal over you. Doesn't matter how you can define me, but I won't allow ego to become between me and you, because the ego is what drives the insanity in the world we live, because it's an insane world you live in. Don't allow them to set any standard for you. How can you allow crazy to set standard for you? Unless you're crazy too. But if you're a sane being, you will look at this very quickly and see that it is insanity that I want to get generational wealth. Let me tell you guys something. And a lot of our people, they'll come on here, they talk about generational wealth. No, you see, the true sense of wealth is, first and foremost, is your health. Is your health, your personal well-being. When you are healthy, you eat clean, you look after yourself, you keep your surrounding clean. That is wealth. If you eat correct, look after yourself the way you need to, you will not get sick at any time. No, you will not. First and foremost, these are the things we are talking about. It is the food that is keeping you in low vibration. It is what making you sick. It is what making you worry about health insurance. It is what making you worry about all of the things that you worry about. But once you come out of that place, you will not give a shit about none of these things, because none of these things will be able to define you or control you anymore. These are the things that you need to know. So you are the ones that is perpetuating your suffering by not stepping outside of the box. The moment you step outside of the box, then everything will change in your life. But you are the ones who are not realizing that you have the key. And the key is not believing, is knowing. Believe is their standard. Knowing is your standard. Once you step out of belief, then you will see everything from such an high point of view, way, way, way up in the sky. You will stay and look at everything on the ground. That is, you will see everything as crystal clear as you can ever imagine. Because no one can lie to you anymore. No one can deceive you anymore. You will laugh at religion. You will laugh at the school system. You will laugh at the capitalistic system. You will laugh at everything they do, because everything that they do doesn't make any sense. These are genocidal beings. You see what I'm saying? We have to stop allowing them to define us. You see what I'm saying? That is the reality. And when we come to this place of self-define, where we can define ourselves in the true sense of an Afrocentric way of thinking, a melanated way being, and see that that's who we are. And everyone on this planet, they have a problem with you. And the reason why they have a problem with you is because they know they can never be you. And they want what you have. You see, most of us, give you this instant, most of us that live in the West, do you realize that when they tell you as a melanated being about Africa, everything about Africa is bad, everything about Africa is poor, everything about Africa is suffering? You ever notice that? Now, the true reality is just as they define heaven and hell, the West really is hell. Be honest with you, the West is hell. If you know that all your resources that is running that place called the West, where it come from? Heaven, Africa. You see, these things, you think I'm making these things up? Anytime you stop worrying about traveling to Europe and start to travel the continent of Africa, and then you're going to see where all these resources that you have in the West, you'll see where it come from. And the funny thing is that even ones who live in Africa, born in Africa, raised in Africa, they don't even know themselves. That is why the West can do what they do to them. And that is why, through the eye of Abraham Traoré, General Chiani, and Assimi Goïta, a lot of Africans are truly seeing themselves and seeing their worth. When you see they start seizing gold mine, seizing all these different mines that the West have to live off, like a parasite. When they start to taking it, you see the West start to crumble. Every time an African country is going to take its sovereignty, you will see what I'm talking about. You will see the West crumbling more and more each day because it has to. It is going to crumble like a cookie because it lives on a lie. Everything about the West is a lie. It is not built on truth. When you talk about America, everything there is stolen. You know that. But you don't want to admit that you are living on stolen land. A land that there is millions of people who lost their life because of this genocidal maniac. You see what I'm saying? And we don't want to claim to the true right of who we are. You have heaven, what they call heaven, where everything is there, the gold, all the natural resource is there, but you don't want to claim it as yours. Imagine that. Because they decide where on this planet, if you look at it, what do you see in America? They'll tell you most of the trees in America is male. They're not female. They don't bear any fruit. You see what I'm saying? So you live in a place where all the trees, they make sure that they are, because they want to control you. They want to control what you eat. They want to keep your mind in a state where they poison you, where they make you believe, because it's all a belief. If you sit down and check your life, you're waiting for 65 to retire. And they tell you that you're only going to live to between 70 and 80. What? Sit down and think. If you work for 65 years, okay, I say you work for 45 years or 50 years, okay, how much time do you have to say you're going to so-called enjoy life? Think about what I'm saying. You see these things, what they do to you? You become so whole and decrepit and on so many medication at that point. It is laughable. You see what I'm saying? It is laughable that you think that for all these years you're there in this place suffering. Of course, everything about them is a lie. Hypocrisy, true hypocrisy. And that's what they want you to hold on to. And once you let the hypocrisy go, then you will see for yourself what is really going on. Let all of that go. Because now they're all worried. Now you see they cut the food stamp program. You see how much white people right now lining up in in lines going to food banks to get food, because now you realize that you melanated being was not the problem of the system. You were not the ones who were causing the system to go through whatever it's going through, where they're telling you everything that is bad, they put a melanated face to it. These are the things, all of these programs that they come up with in America and these places, they are making it like it is you who caused these things. It is you who's causing a burden on the system, when it's a lie. You contribute the most and you get the least. Just stop and think. Allow yourself to think. Allow yourself to reason, and you will see what I'm talking about. But if you don't check out of the system, you will never see it. If you don't check out of the game, you will never see it, because they want to keep you in the game, and you're going to stay in the game. You see how much people all of a sudden they're losing their job, they're losing their work, they're losing all kind of different things. You see what I'm saying? And so when it comes to that point where they lose everything, you see what I'm saying? The Garden of Eden. You see, they lose everything. When now they see the system is collapsing and they're thinking, oh, I want to go home, I want to go here, but I can't, I don't have the resource, because these people make sure that you don't have the resource to do. They knew that this time was coming. You think they didn't know? They know. They know that they can't rule nothing forever, because their whole thing is built on lies and deception and distortion and corruption. Everything about them is that. Everything. It is the reality. You can't get around it. Just look. Open your eye and look. See it from within. You can't see it in the outer verse, because in the outer verse is where the distortion is. Stop listening to people who are speaking the same lie for them. Come into yourself where you speak truth within yourself. The truth is always being spoken within you. It is for you to listen to what your higher self is telling you. You see, it is you have the answer, you have the antidote to the problem that you're facing. You are the antidote. So when you recognize that you are the antidote and you change that, then you will see what I'm talking about. You see, you will see very quickly. You see, so I'm showing you how to release yourself from a prison. Because the prison is you have the key to the door to the prison, but they're not going to tell you that you have the key to the door to your own imprisonment of your mind. Because as long as you believe you are in prison, when you know, you are set free. That is why they even put it in their Bible. The code is you will know the truth, and the truth will do what? Set you free. The truth will not give you freedom, it will set you free. Because as I said, you can't be free and dumb at the same time. So when you use these terminology, you're keeping yourself in their prison. When you tell people that you are independent, you are not free. None of those things can define you. You see what I'm saying? No, that is the difference. That's why I'm telling you, in the Bible, they never say you will believe the truth and it will set you free. No, they say you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. That is the difference. But because you in a belief world, that's where they hold you hostage to your own self. The church hold you hostage. The whole system hold you hostage based on that belief. Because the preacher is keeping you in ignorance for the politician. And so that they can carry out their empty promises to you all the time. And you can't see it. Because your eyes is closed to the truth. That is the difference. But once your eye is open, you can't close it. Their system is collapsing. Of course it is. It has to. It doesn't have a choice. It doesn't have a choice. It must collapse. You see what I'm saying? It's because the more of us that awaken within ourselves, then the faster the system will collapse. It has to. It doesn't have a choice. You see, that is the reality. So it is you that is keeping the system in place, and you don't know that. It is not them. No. They show me what they create. They don't create nothing. Everything in the system, you create it and you don't know. That's what I'm saying. This is the reality. Do not allow their standard to define you anymore. You must be the one who define yourself. And by defining yourself and to define yourself, you must go within. And when you know yourself and love yourself, you're going to say, wow, how didn't I see this? That is what I need to do to make their system collapse, to overturn their system. Absolutely, my virgin Jared. When you can't say that you know truth and you don't know yourself, it's obvious. It's obvious because when you know yourself, that's what I'm saying. When you know yourself, nothing can define you. You see, of course, that's why they push fear, because fear is the answer. The only answer they have to anything is fear. Religion is fear, school teacher fear, military there for you to fear, the police is there for you to fear. Everything about their system is about fear. It's a fear-based system, and once you come out of fear, they can't control you anymore. You don't fear their police, you don't fear their military. Doesn't mean that you're gonna go see the police and go pick fight with them. No. That's what I mean. You know how to deal with them. You know how to speak with them. You know how to put things out there that they, even when they see you, they won't even bother with you because they know they can't come up against you because you are the I am within. So when they see you, then they know you know who you are. So they're not going to go up against you. You see, that's what I'm saying. Energy, my people, is real. You know, when you move in your energy, in your true vibration of self, within self-love, self-knowing, people see it. You radiate. Even when you're not seeking or looking for attention, it's going to come to you. People are going to see it. And even people that they might not love you, but they will open doors for you. They have to. You see? They will open doors for you even when you least expect it. They will make sure that, hey, this person here, and you're thinking, but I don't know this person. You don't need to know them. They see your light. They see your aura. Yes, they're gonna get mad when you don't allow their religion or any of these things to define you. You see, the thing is they don't, because they know that you are out of their control. Once you let the belief system go, you see what I'm saying? The answer for you is to know. That is why, again, when our ancestors said, they didn't say to believe in yourself, they said to know yourself. That is the key. The master key is knowing yourself. Because when you have the master key, every door that you go to, it have to open. It have to open. Yes, my brother, greetings. Every door that you go to have to open. You can't get shut out of any place. The door will open even when you don't even put the key in, because someone else will step out, open the door to let you in before you even get to the door, because they see you coming, they feel your presence. You ever walk into a room and everyone start to turn around and look at you, even though when you try to be inconspicuous as possible, no, you can't hide yourself. You can't. You see? Your presence commands their attention. And that is the truth. That is truly when you come into yourself, because self-mastery is the answer. When you live in the place where neither food, nor water, nor anything can define you. None of it can define you. You will not be addicted to any of it, because nothing is holding mastery over you. And as long as you hold in mastery over yourself, then everything will come to your aid without you even asking. You see, yes, walk in the true path. And when you walk in this path that I'm telling you about, you will see what I'm talking about. Many people say, "Oh yeah, when you come into yourself, when you wake up, it's lonely." No, it's not. You see, the thing is, as I said, when you come into yourself, because you didn't know, it can be confusing in the beginning. But once you stay the course and start to look deeper within yourself, then it will all make sense to you. And you will realize that it's not a lonely place. Because if you are the I am, how can you be lonely? You can't. And everything that you need, it will come to you. You will not lack anything. Reality. You will not. Yeah, looking in the mirror, reflecting on yourself. Because, in all the truth, even what you see in the mirror is not you. But we are a beautiful set of people. We are the standard of beauty on this earth. It is the truth. When you look at the melanated sisters, and I mean, when you're in your true self, when you're in your divine self, then you will see your sisters in a whole different light, and the sisters will see the brothers in a whole different light. Because no one is like you. No one on this planet is like you. That is the facts. Can't get around it. You see? Yes. So you start to do the things that will make you happy, because happiness is not from outside, it's from within. Happiness is happening within you. Everything is happening within you, in your inner verse. So check out of the outer verse and become very, very powerful in yourself. Set your own standard, because it is your standard that is going to change everything, that is going to bring you to your true divine self. And you realize in that space that you are not lacking anything. So you have to step out of the lack mentality, because that's what you have been doing, because they set the standard for you to live in lack. You didn't set the standard for that. None of the things that you think is missing out of your life, you didn't set the standard for it. They set it for you. But the moment you start to set the standard for yourself and you rise to the occasion, then everything will change accordingly. Know thyself. Know thyself. And when you do that, and you teach that to your children, you will see how powerful your people will become in no time. Things will change instantaneously. People always say, "Oh, you're going to take a long time." No. If you put this vibration out there that everything is going to take a long time, it's going to. But when you step into your divine self, you know that nothing is impossible for you. You see, yes, you see, the thing is yes, my sister, you see, the thing is when it comes to your ancestors, when you start to accept your ancestors and start to really, pay homage to your ancestors, quickly you will realize that everything start to change for you, because now the ancestors that they tell you that you should put aside because they are cursed and all of these different things, and you know that your ancestors did not do anything to be a curse or whatever it is, then now you will see your whole life change, because now your ancestors is walking with you as they will not stand with you when you're not standing with them. Why your ancestors, you see, even if your ancestors are standing with you, because they know that you were in ignorance. That is the thing, my sister. They don't want you to become the seekers of truth. You see what I'm saying? Because the thing is, they know that once you are in that place, then the whole world will collapse. And these are the things that I keep saying. When we know this, then this is the path. This is the way. And once you come into the path, like I said, Dick Gregory said something. When you wake up, the universe will give you a pair of glasses. When you put that, the only thing that it will show you that once you put these glasses on, you can't take them off. Because once you see, you can't unsee. And so now that you're seeing the reality, then this is where everything starts to change. You see. So we are gonna let these people you see, I am here to give you the truth, to give you raw and uncut. I'm not here to give you the truth according to religious standard, YouTube standard, or no standard that these people set, because they can't set no standard for me because they can't define me. I define myself, I define who I am. You see, and I am the I am that I am. And so it is out of love because I love you because you are me. You see what I'm saying? When I see you, I see myself. And until we learn to see ourselves in each other, then that's what I'm saying. That's where the change is coming. It is not seeing yourself through money. You see, what are your thoughts on the so-called Adnan? You see, my sister, I don't give too much thought on some of these things, because I tell you why. I'm in the process of studying myself as I am studying also the system. And I have been studying the system for a lot of years and many years, but I'm also on the path. And the thing is, I'll give you this truth, my sister. When you study yourself, if something is a lie, you're going to know. And if something is the truth, then you're going to know. Because self will never lie to you. That's why I said the greatest book you can study or read is yourself. So you see, the more you go in depth, when I say spend time with yourself, question self. Self is going to provide the answer. You have to. You have to. So once we stop listening to the outer verse and start to listen to the inner verse. Because like I said, I'm not talking about universe because a lot of people talk about the universe. The universe is what they tell us is not what it is the inner verse and the outer verse. The outer verse is where the system controls you. The inner verse is where you define everything because you will see yourself from the place of the I am. Exactly. So that all of these things are part of the fear-based system. Is what I'm saying is for you to be looking and checking everything outside of self. But once they know, the biggest thing is, as I said, the system will never teach you about going in within. You see, they won't teach you that. You see, so anything that is real, the things that were there, the things that our ancestors create, we're going to know because you are your ancestors. It's their blood running through your vein. So you're going to know. You see, that's the reality. You are the seeker, the knower, and the doer. You are not the believer. So that's why I said stop believing and start to know. That's the place that you want to come into. That is the key. You see, that is the key. Come into the place of knowing because that is the key to your life. That is the answers to who you need to be, not who they want you to be. You see, that is where the answer lies. The inner verse is within. So once we come into this place, then everything will change accordingly. So study yourself and everything will open up to you. Because as I said, self cannot deny you. It cannot lie to you. The true self, the higher self, cannot lie to you. Remember that. You see. But again, it's been great. Exactly, my sister. They cannot control the inner being, and they know that. They cannot control the inner being. That's what they're afraid of. That's why they don't teach you to go in. That's why they don't teach you to be self-reliant. That is the reason. And more of us that is in that place will we know. That's why we're doing for self. And that's why when we come together in this thing, then everything will change in a beautiful way. So self-mastery is the key. Is what I'm saying. Self-mastery is the key. So, yes, Gary, my brother, I give thanks, And I give thanks for all you guys and the true reasoning and the participation. I truly give thanks and I truly appreciate of all of you, see it. And, we could go on forever, see it. And we will go on forever, see it, because there is no beginning and there is no end. So, yeah, it is all greatness, it is all wonderful, and I give thanks. Yeah, much gratitude, much love to all of you. Seeing, and I leave you with greatness, wholeness, and everything that is of great importance. I leave it to you. See it. So more joy, more happiness. Yeah, more of everything. I said I them. Claim it for yourself. Live in it. Seeing full joy, the sunlight, full joy life all the time, every time. Seeing you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day, the evening, the afternoon, or the night where you guys are. Seeing, give thanks, more love, and more power and more strength to all of you. Seeing all the time, every time. Until we come together again on the African Liberation Station. See, yeah, man, you all take care of yourself and look after yourself. See, we are one. Oneness, wholeness, every time, all the time.